welcome back to Soul Food, where we talk about different topics on a Christian perspective. My name is Elsa.
I'm Sharon.
And I'm Devin.
And today we want to talk about getting hurt by the Christian community. But beforehand, I just want to let you know, if you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to click on the subscribe button if you want to get to know more and be up to date with our videos. So yeah, guys, have you ever experienced that, getting hurt by Christians and stuff?
Yeah. I feel like so many people that I've known who kind of grew up in church but stopped going to church is because they've been hurt by church community.
Yeah. For me, I stopped going to church for a while because of that. I grew up in church, and as I said before on our channel, I was a pastor's daughter. So basically, the thing that hurt me the most is everyone wants to be in my family's business. There's one thing where when you're in leadership that your life is out there already, but then there's another thing, it's when you're having trouble and people are trying to dig into it. So just not recently, maybe 4 years ago, my parents were going through a divorce, and then someone from the church got the record, the divorce record from the courts, because that stuff's public, and they sent it in an email to everyone in the church. And it really hurt me because first of all, that's family, and we were going through a hard time. But then it hurt me even more that it was Christians doing it, because you don't expect those type of things from Christians, right? You expect that from people who don't know God to do things like that. So that was even more of a sting to me, and then I just didn't want anything to do with church after that.
Yeah.
It's just so hard.
Yeah. I feel like I've seen that too. Or things where even going to church when I was little, and I would see the elders, and they would be fighting over something really stupid. And it's so funny how as a kid you have this perspective, and you know what love is and what love isn't, while people who are elders and people who's been going to church and for so long, sometimes I feel they just get blinded and they don't see God's love, and they're just so concerned about no, this is not going right, so we're just gonna fight and we're gonna divide the church or something.
Yeah. It's when you're a kid, you see it from such a godly perspective, because you don't have any selfish intentions, and I feel as we grow older, sometimes we tend to get a little selfish with our faith and what church is about, and then that's how we end up hurting other people. It's out of our own selfishness, wanting things for ourselves, wanting to prove something.
Oh, and it's true, because you go to church and you expect everyone to act right and to be right, and I mean it's as Christian we should, but the thing is that even God said it, you can't judge you, but then you see still by the flesh, those are we have some time where you just fall into the flesh and you don't really see again we're not bothering with the person, but just more about the spiritual side of it. And it's because we depend our happiness or our well-being so much on people.
Yeah, it's so true. And it's almost are you going to church for yourself or for
exactly
God?
So it's okay, God do want us to be in community, and I think I do know that God has right people for each one of us, but we can't go into church and expecting to get that happiness and be filled with the people, because people are always going to deceive us, so they're always going to disappoint us. And if you don't have God first as your source of happiness, and you knowing that even if people judge you, you knowing that you're right with God, and in God's eyes you're fine, that's gonna help you kind of overcome that and give them grace. It's about giving grace,
See, I feel sometimes we're so good at receiving grace, but we're so bad at giving grace to other people. And I think one of the reasons that I see a lot in terms of why we get so hurt from church community is because we put other people to such a high standard. I feel I even catch myself doing that. I put my Christian friends in such a higher standard that when I'm doing something and they say something, and I'm oh, that was mean. And then I get so hurt. Right. But if a non-Christian friend says it, I just oh, whatever, she's probably I don't think much of it. But then I get so hurt by Christian friends because I put them into a higher standard, and then we portray that onto other people too. And I think part of the reason why so many people get hurt is because you know, we all have different seasons. Like, there's times where your walk with God is so good, and then there's times where you're just going through stuff, and people come in and they try to judge your walk with God. Like, oh, you were doing that yesterday? Oh, you were at that club yesterday? Like, I wouldn't, like, you know, that's really bad. Like, you need to go repent. And, like, I don't know, people just try to, like, come into your life so much and, like, judge you. And I think, like, we just...
And I feel like we have, as Christian, like, we have to find that balance.
Yeah.
Of, like, you know, letting your brother know that he's not doing something right by trying to advise him. Then, like, making him feel judged or, like, condemned. So it's kind of, like, asking God the wisdom to, like, tackle that. Because I do believe we have to, like, help each other and put each other, like, be accountable, you know, like, towards each other, where I have to tell you guys, I know that you're not going the right way, but I need to find a way to tell you without judging you.
Like, out of love.
Exactly. That's, exactly. And that comes from your heart. And I remember, like, last week, like, someone did something, and I was like, but I didn't feel hurt, you know, like, and that's where God is so good, because he's been stretching my character, and, like, I try to put my feelings aside, because sometimes we put our feelings too much into it, and, like, put my feelings aside and tell myself, okay, God, like, how am I supposed to react in this, you know, like, he did this thing, and it hurt me, but then it's, like, it's not that it's fine, but just, like, put your feeling aside and give him grace, and just, like, you know, just let it go, kind of thing. Just let it go, because it doesn't affect who you are. It doesn't affect what, like, the relationship you have with God, and, like, your identity. You still have your identity, so don't try to, like, please people as much, and, like, you know, just have everyone love you, because not everyone's gonna love you. That's just how it is, you know. You're gonna have Christian or non-Christian. You're gonna have people that just don't play with you.
I think that's the thing. Like, we expect every Christian to love us so well.
But no, we have to respect each other. We have to help each other. But you are not born to just walk with every Christian. It's just how it is. It doesn't mean that you were a bad Christian, whatever. It just means that you have a journey that doesn't fit with their journey. And that's
And then at the end of the day, I feel like if you also put too much feeling into it, you're only hurting yourself.
Exactly.
Because for me, getting hurt by that and then not wanting anything to do with church, like, I was only hurting myself, because I still, even if I needed to find a different church, that's what I needed to do, versus just throw off church altogether. Because one day it just clicked, like, it's not about what people do. Like, I need to have that connection with God, and, like, I feel like a church helps you grow that. So I needed to be planted in a church so I can grow, and by taking myself from that situation, because I based it on other people, I was only hurting my own spiritual walk, you know. Even though they treated me wrong, I have to forgive them, maybe find a different church, and then keep walking.
That's true. And we have to remember that God is not people. Like, there's people, and then there's God. Like, we can't like, see how people act with us, and then tell ourselves that, okay, that this person is supposed to represent God. So if he's like that, like, I'm done with God. No, you know, like, that person is still working, is still getting transformed. So you're gonna have days where it's like, it's not gonna be it. But you can't take that and compare it to God, and that's why it's so important to be so grounded with God, and, like, have him as that first relationship that matters the most. Because then you'll be able to know and, like, give grace and just, like, try to, like, you know, I'm gonna let it go, and I'm just, like, gonna try to work things, whatever I have to do.
So I think, like, an advice that I would want to give someone who's been hurt by church, we're all broken people. It says church is a place not for, like, people who are healthy, but for the sick. We're all messed up. Like, Christian, non-Christian, we're all messed up. We're all, like, going through different things. So I think, like, don't put such a high standard and, like, expect people in church to be perfect, because we're not. Even your pastor, they're not perfect. And I think sometimes we see pastors and then they go through stuff, and then we get so jaded by church, because, like, oh, you're a pastor, you shouldn't be, you know? Like, obviously they should be living in, like, a higher, you know, standard, because there's so many people watching and you're leading so many people to Christ. But, like, I think just, like, remembering to have grace.
And forgiveness too, you know, like, that's all the walk, like, this fruit of the Spirit that we always have to work on. It's so good. It's so broad, but
so good.
But yeah, we just want to thank you guys for for watching, and we really hope that he helps. And if you have anything that you would like us to, like, I don't know, answer or talk about, we will gladly, like, you know, go ahead and do that. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you on our next video.
Yep.
Bye.
As you say, we post new videos every Sunday. That's fun.